Right, so here we are today, and this is the full series of the Turtle Dragon resin cast paint job. And I thought I'd do a voiceover for this video since a few people have asked for the voiceovers instead of sort of straightforward demonstrations set to music and a bit of text on the screen. So I'm not sure what to do there because it takes a lot of time to make these videos, and at present, you know, it's quite hard to get the videos done with other things on the go. If I had more subscribers and a bigger channel, I could put more time into the channel, so hopefully that'll happen at some point. So anyway, like I say, you obviously know that I'm doing the voiceover here because I'm talking. Well, hopefully it'll record. So anyway, back to the video. So we've got our resin cast there, which is made from EasyFlo 60, but you can apply this method to most resins and other materials, concrete, and so on. So what I'm doing there is just laying down a base coat of green, and it's sap green. All you want to do really is, I mean, this is the basic paint job, and you want to aim for putting a base coat down of a mid-tone of what colour you're using. So this obviously in this case is a mid-tone green, and we use a yellow and a brown also on this particular figure. So we might want to put a couple of coats on, which we do here to get a nice solid colour for our base coat. And obviously want to let that dry between coats. And here we're just painting the base just to make it easier to paint as we work our way through. And once you've put down your base coat and you've got all the solid colours in place, you want to wait 24 hours or overnight to start applying your paint effects. So in this video it'll be part 1 applying the base coat, part 2 putting in the highlights, and part 3 putting in some washes to bring out the recesses and shadows. And that's pretty much my basic approach to this type of painting your models. There's all kinds of techniques you can use. I don't know if anybody's watched people paint the miniature figures from Citadel, Warhammer, and all that sort of thing. Anybody that was into Dungeons and Dragons at school and all that sort of thing will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the miniature models of sort of fantasy and science fiction characters and stuff, and some of the people that paint the miniatures come up with some amazing paint jobs, so it's a good place to go and learn about painting models and such, and along with just you know, sort of generic models also, which you can apply to your concrete casts as well if you want to there. Although these days I prefer like just a basic wash on a concrete item, because you want to look, if you're going to be painting concrete items, you probably want to keep them inside if you want to keep the paint job, because the weather will take away the paint over the years. Even with how much maintenance you give it, it's going to wear away at some point. So there we are, we're applying the yellow there to the breast of the turtle dragon. This turtle dragon is actually casted from a Netsuke figure. So again, anybody familiar with Netsuke will know what these things are. And I don't know a lot about Netsuke, I just like the sculptures that has come out of that. I think Netsuke is a Japanese thing. And the original model which this resin cast was taken from was made from wood, so it was carved from wood. And it's got a hole underneath where you can attach it to a piece of string and hang around your neck. There's a reason. I don't know whether it's sort of decorative or whether there's like a spiritual meaning to these Netsuke figures. But there's some wonderful designs. If anybody's interested, look it up. Netsuke. And I like this particular character, the turtle dragon. I thought that was a good concept, great idea. So you can see there I've got the original resin cast, just to contrast against the resin cast that we're painting. And we're putting a second coat of yellow in there. And while I was talking, you probably saw that I put a first coat of brown on the shell. What I should have done perhaps is I noticed towards the end of painting the model, I should have looked at my model a little bit more really. Because underneath the top of the shell, so underneath, on the belly part, I perhaps should have painted that yellow as well to get the underbelly of the shell. And kind of tied it in with the breast part of the Netsuke figure. So it's kind of dabbing the brown on there. So obviously this is using acrylic paints, just basic acrylic paints. I use like a sort of a cheap set really, but they seem to do the job. But I might try out some other paints in the future with the small resin figurines, and perhaps you start using the Citadel paints, which they use to paint the miniature models and figures. So that's the end of part one. We've got that base coat down. Like I say, wait 24 hours at least or overnight before you start applying the next touches. So here's part two. So what we're going to do now is apply some highlights, and we're going to use mainly the dry brushing technique, and maybe sort of like apply the paint on a little bit thicker depending on where we are on the model. So there you can see I'm highlighting the breast there. In fact, I think I used a yellow ochre as the base coat for the breast there. It looks very yellow, and we're just using a regular yellow, or a lemon yellow I think it was, so it's a bit lighter than the ochre, just to highlight the breast areas, as you can see there. So I'm probably putting that on a little bit thicker than you would when using the dry brushing technique. So of course you can see some pointers there that which were put up for the demonstration videos, which didn't have any voiceovers. So now you can see there we're mixing some green with the yellow just to lighten up the green, so that'll give us some highlights over the skin areas, and of course the green areas of the turtle dragon. So it's kind of sort of like mixing in a dry brush with a more heavier paint load sort of technique, if that makes any sense. So obviously going over the whole model there. I think I do this a couple of times, and I might make the green a little bit lighter again by mixing in some more yellow. But again, these sort of things are your own personal preference, and everybody knows what they like when you're doing these type of jobs. So now I'm mixing some yellow with some brown. I mixed up brown, and that's going to lighten our brown. And we'll do the same again and just highlight the shell. Kind of dry brush that over the shell to reveal the details. You could also try adding a little bit of white at times as well. And bear in mind this is like a basic sort of, almost sort of basic introduction to this type of painting. I'm still learning as well, certainly where colours are concerned, where you're mixing your colours up to create certain effects. And I'd like to get into using the transparent washes at some point, and that'll be another video for another time. So there we are, that's the highlights done, and we're just painting in some details there, so painting the tongue red. And I also blackened in the eyes a little bit, ready for the next stage. Oh, and also painted the teeth, as you can see I'm painting there just with white. And then the next part, we'll dull the teeth down because they're like very glaringly white, and we'll sort of dull those down a little bit with our paint washes. So we are just darkening the eyes there with some black. I think I might have made the black less black by adding a little brown as well. I need some new brushes as well, make things easier. I've had these brushes for ages, but they're okay. I'll probably invest in some different types of brushes at some point if I continue doing this type of painting. Well, there will be these sort of jobs pop up from time to time, the more smaller objects made from resin. Right, so we're on part 3 now, and we're going to apply the washes. So we're going to mix up a brown mixture and water that down considerably so that it seeps into the recesses, and then we can wipe away with a damp rag, which I've got there on screen ready. And so while wiping away, that'll reveal the paint underneath, the highlights, while leaving the paint in the recesses to show and enhance the detail in the model. So just work all the way through liberally over the model. So work it in stages there, so you know you got your hand holding it in a dry area, and once the area that you finish is dry, you can obviously hold that bit and finish off where you were holding before. So you might want to apply the wash twice, so let the first layer dry, and again this is down to preference. If you don't feel like your washes are dark enough and you want to put another wash on to reveal the highlights some more, then obviously go over again. I don't know if you can hear the rain there, so it started raining here. So it's probably picking up on the screen, or I might be shouting a bit louder because the rain's louder than me. So there we are. Anyway, we're wiping down the wash there, or the excess paint that we don't want on the model. So there we are, that's pretty much it finished. And we just want to touch up a few areas, and that'll include the eyes. So just showing you around the model there, as you can see. So use a hairdryer in places as well, just to speed up the process. That's really sort of like for the benefit of the video, just to speed the process up. If I was doing it without videoing it, I'd probably just leave it to dry naturally. So I think it looks better sometimes. I think the paint sits better when you let it dry naturally. But anyway, it was okay for this video. So just add some touches up there where we went a bit heavy-handed and wiped off some of the paint, which you don't want to fall into that trap. So now I'm just applying a second coat, wash, and just doing the same thing again. You can see I'm using a Q-tip or a cotton bud there, just to get in the harder to reach areas where the cloth won't reach. Hairdryer treatment again, just to speed up the process of drying. And there we are, you can see a little bit of paint there that needs to be touched up. I thought I was doing that earlier, but this is the stage where we're touching up the paint. So just using the same colours and just blending that into the model. And the same with the green. There's a little spot of green there. And now I'll put a little bit of a sparkle on the eyes. Just use a cocktail stick here. And some pure white paint. Just to add the sparkle, as you can see there. And there we are, that's job done. So there we are, here's the video full series of the Turtle Dragon Resin EasyFlo 60 resin cast, with a little bit of narration for those that want a bit of a guided walkthrough. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. More videos coming soon. Like I say, I hope to improve on the videos, but they might become less frequent at the moment until viewers and subscribers and watch time goes up. So we'll see what happens. So again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you soon. Over and out for now.